their transformation.
Doing this.
You ready?
I need another one.
Check, check.
Bueno.
Bueno. Nice and clear.
Nice setup.
Thank you. Is this 47? Yeah.
I don't know. I can tell you in a second.
48.
No, I think it's 47.
It's so weird hearing your voice. Are we live right now?
Yeah, we're live.
Are we live, guys?
Yeah?
Yeah, cool.
It's 47.
It's 47.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
Freestyle.
What's happening, fam? Episode 47, Nothing to Lose Podcast. I'm Tony. I'm joined with a special man. I was his right tackle back in high school. Felipe Valdez. What's up? What's happening? How you doing?
What's going on? How you doing?
Get a little closer to the mic or scoot up, whichever one.
Rookie.
So they can hear your beautiful voice.
I know. Sorry.
If you're watching on live, sorry we can't answer any questions because it's just me and Felipe. We don't have another phone. But appreciate you guys watching. For everyone out there, Felipe, who is Felipe?
Man. From San Diego, 27. Grew up around like the Spring Valley area. Went to Grossmont High School or Helix and then Grossmont High School.
Yeah.
3-sport athlete, and now I'm here. Currently I live in the Bay. I currently work for Google, so it's been a ride for sure.
The whole journey there, though, like I can testify when you moved from Helix to Grossmont. How was that? Like, how was the transition? How was the hate? How was the controversy? How was it was humbling, wasn't it for you? Like,
Yeah,
no
for
way.
sure. You go to a powerhouse high school, and then you go to Grossmont, where you already had a target on your back because you come from Helix, right? And Grossmont can't beat Helix in anything. So it was tough. It was tough in the beginning, but
You got a lot of tough love, especially from just basketball wise.
yeah.
Like football, they loved you. They embraced you. Like, yeah, you're gonna
For sure.
shine. But in basketball, it was like,
Yeah, it was definitely rough. It was rough. I always had to prove myself throughout my whole life, so it was nothing new. But at the end of the day, it was every time we played Helix, I knew it was a homecoming, a bad homecoming.
why was the move though? Like,
We changed schools, or we changed houses.
Okay.
And that was back in the day where, it's wherever you live is where you played high school. Yeah. So.
now that like the kids are transferring like no other day, like they can transfer every other season and they don't have to sit out. Cause you had to also sit out. You couldn't play varsity, right?
Yeah, I had to sit out. We tried contesting at the CIF a couple times, and they said no. So.
So the journey, athlete, you're doing it, you're trying to make it in, and then along those lines, your adversity was a lot of injuries.
Yeah, for the most part. I stayed. Well, I think my injuries didn't really occur until like college, but yeah, there's like always pulled hamstrings, the typical type things. But I never really missed a game ever. I was gonna play hurt regardless.
Yeah, I remember you played when you played OTI.
Yeah.
OTI.
Yeah.
You brought that back, and after that, you just went straight to the sideline.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Take me out, coach. I'm done.
But nonetheless, so where did you go to college?
So I hopped around. I went to 3 different colleges.
Okay.
I tried walking on at Arizona State. Coach Dickerson as a fullback was 3rd on the priority list and had no shot getting there. And plus I would be a 5'6", 225 fullback. And then I transferred to Idaho State, Idaho State Bengals. Shout out Pocatello, small world. And I played football there. I was our running back, punt return, a little bit in the slot. I was a walk-on. I walked on there, and then went to University of Laverne. So the whole Idaho journey was.
How was it going from San Diego, as a small big city, to Idaho, where there's not much
For
going
me, it honestly did not matter because I just wanted to play ball. You know, like growing up, everyone's like, oh hey, Felipe, you're way too small. You're not gonna be good at basketball. You're not gonna be good at football. You can't get a scholarship. You can't do this. You can't do that. And so I made it to a point like, hey, I'm gonna play Division I football, and say, fuck all you guys.
Right.
You know, so yeah, you know, consider it was a AA school, but it was still a D1 school, and I was still able to compete at the highest level. So.
Do you remember? Does Facebook remind you of your post that you used to put like? Because I remember following you, like, 'cause obviously I'm on the football team with you, and I just remember, like, everyone would, like, doubt you, and you're like, no, I'm going to fucking prove them wrong, and then you would be out there, the smallest guy out there, and you're just hyping yourself up, you'd be your own hype man, so.
I'd be my own hype man. I'd always have a chip on my shoulder.
Yeah.
You know,
regardless of the situation, you would be the starter, you would still have that mentality,
exactly.
It's me against the world.
You have to.
And you still carry that on now, like, as I see, like, you're doing your own thing, but you're still like, hey, I still got something to prove. I'm always going to be the underdog. And I think that's a lot that we can all take, because if we think we're the man, then there's always going to be somebody knocking us down.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, as soon as you get complacent, it's when the next person comes in, right? And so, and it's boring if you're not trying to improve yourself, right? And so I think that's, you know, we fast forward about 10 years now. It's about to be 10-year reunion, right? Graduated 2009, but you know, fast forward to now, like, that's what has allowed me to work at Google and be good at Google and get a promotion at Google, you know, and have different opportunities like that. So it's amazing.
Congrats on the 1 year. Was it, so you celebrated that 1 year? Is it because it was like a lot of people make it to 1 year, or just like, hey, I proved myself? What was the whole deal about it?
About Google?
Yeah.
So it's something called Googleversary, right? So people just celebrate like being there in general, right? So Google really celebrates any type of like accomplishments or like wins, and that's what's really cool about that company is like anything that you do good is going to be known, right? Rather than other corporate companies, it's kind of like, oh, you're supposed to do that, right? Well, yeah, you're supposed to work and do your job, but you know, it feels good to have love, and so it just continues to kind of build that positive attitude to say, hey, good job, you know, what's next? Okay, good job, you know what I mean? So.
For sure. So, you graduated, did you finish school, or did you just?
Absolutely, I got my ass beat by my mom and dad.
Degree in?
Kinesiology, yes. So, people who don't know what kinesiology is, I had an emphasis in strength conditioning. It is the anatomy of the body, obviously. And so that's when I kind of grew into fitness. Fitness just fell in my lap when I transferred to University of Laverne. Because originally after, and I'm just jumping all over the place, but at Idaho State, we got a new coach called, and his name was Coach Kramer. And so I originally thought that I was going to be put on scholarship. And we competed in the spring, and essentially what happened is they let me go along with a couple other people go. And so then at that point, I kind of just decided that I wasn't going to go back to school. And so this one coach, one of my biggest mentors till this day, Coach Durant, he essentially, you know, hit me up, him and Coach Bear hit me up, say, hey, come play for University of Laverne. I'm like, what the hell is University of Laverne?
Where the fuck is it? How do I get there?
Yeah, I don't, like, no. I'm not going to play at a D3 school. Like, my head was just super big. Yeah. I had that, like, D1 cocky attitude.
Right. When you had the talent, you know, you could put this shit out, so I'm not going to step down 2 division, not just 1.
Exactly. But I went on the visit. I had my tour with Coach Bear, and those are 2 of my biggest mentors, Coach Durant, Coach Bear. Short story, that's where I grew into fitness with my strength conditioning coach. And yeah, graduated kinesiology. And so straight out of college, I started my own company, Valdez Sports Performance. You know, if you look back at my old IG posts, you know, I used to train high school kids. I used to be a high school coach.
You came back. You graduated. You came back.
Correct. Yeah. So came back. Yeah. Living on my mom and dad's house. I was trying to save money as much as I can.
We all have to.
Right. But yeah, essentially came back and was coaching, doing the whole strength conditioning, started my own company. But I also fell in love in college my last semester with special needs kids.
Okay.
People with cerebral palsy, you know, autism, things like that. And we would play with them, you know, at recess, during the classroom, and find like different ways to be creative for them to learn and kind of enhance like what they can do and different textures that they can do. And I found that really fascinating. And so then I got my certificate in special ed.
Here? Or
in San Diego. Yeah. So I was certified, and I was actually going to get my teaching credentials to be a special ed teacher. But then that's when my car broke down and bills started coming in and things like that. So, but yeah, kinesiology is where it all started for me.
So the side gig turned into like, hey, I gotta put this aside and actually get a career. Type of idea on my mind, right?
It was always in the back of my mind, you know, especially shout out to all the personal trainers who actually do make it happen, because it's very, very hard, right?
It's long days, like the whole day is literally your whole day.
You have to literally worry about how you're gonna get your next client. You know, am I gonna pay this bill? What do I have to do?
Are you gonna keep that client?
Exactly. Like, how can you know, keep your clients and things like that. So, but yeah, it was definitely tough. But yeah, my car broke down, and then that's when I called my best friend. I was like, man, you're making a lot of money.
What are you doing?
Exactly. And at that point, we had just graduated, and $45,000, you know, back in 2014 seemed like a lot of money.
Making it.
Right? Exactly. I was like, dang, you're rich, man. You're rich. I don't know how you got this money, but I'm with it. Whatever. Let's do it. And so that's when I got into recruiting.
Okay.
And then fast forward 3 years.
So you did recruiting here?
Yeah, Aerotech.
And Aerotech for 1 or 2 years, or?
For about a year and a half, essentially.
What kind of recruiting?
So it was full cycle, but it was for like commercial, so like blue collar type work.
Okay.
You know, honestly, like the minimum wage type employees. You know, the turnover rate wasn't that good. You know, we had people who failed drug tests, or you know, just not show up to work, or you know,
a lot of different personalities there.
Different personalities, yeah, exactly. So it was hard itself to kind of fill those voids with different companies, because they had so many. A lot of employees were either, you know, quitting or finding a better job, or didn't like it, or whatever it was.
Or you yourself, you're frustrated because
Yeah.
you have pretty much goals or priorities to meet, or quotas, right?
Exactly, yeah. And plus it was commission based, right?
Oh, fuck.
So when it comes down to commission based, like you're constantly grinding. But Aerotech was a grind itself. Yeah.
Do you think that was like a dark time at that time? Because like you were like,
Absolutely.
I'm making good money, but I'm
That's exactly
burning
what it was.
myself, bro. I'm basically.
That's exactly what it was. I was actually in a 5-year relationship, and I got so tuned into making as much money as I can that I kind of blocked out all of life. And just all I really cared about was money. And so I kind of burned a lot of bridges during that time. So that was for sure very dark.
Do you see that a lot though? Like the people that we grew up with, like you see like they focused a lot of money, and now they're turning back and like, hey, how you been? And like, oh, so where are you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I kind of was going down that route for a couple of years because of who I was becoming. Because when you grow up as a poor kid and you actually get a taste of money, you don't ever want to go back.
Oh no, you don't want to go back broke, and you like, hey, I made it, and you're like, look at me. It's like when you go back to your old neighborhood and you actually have something to show off, like, hey, this is where I came from.
Yeah. So that was rough for sure, but it definitely taught me like to work hard. Like when you say like, hey, first one to show up, last one to leave, like that's exactly what it was. And on top of getting commission, because you always want more and more money. Like you control how much money you're gonna make, how much more commission you're gonna make. So that was definitely a grind.
2 years grinding it out at Aerotech. And then what clicked, or what said, gotta get out of here? What was your mindset at that point?
Well,
the relationship's over?
Yeah, relationship's over, and essentially just quit. Just end up quitting.
Did you just drop it like, hey,
it was like,
I'm
even
still
my
at
parents,
home. I could still kind of like bounce around a little bit.
Well, not even that. My parents had a one-on-one conversation with me. It's like, yo, listen, I don't know who the fuck you think you are, but you are not yourself, so figure your shit out. And that's when my dad first told me, like, hey, money's not everything. You don't want to burn these bridges, and just for whatever reason it clicked. And I was like, fuck this.
Yeah.
So, and then end up, you know, going back to special ed teaching.
Okay.
Working with special needs, and then I ended up getting a corporate job. And to this day, I tell every people at Google, I would still be at that job if it wasn't for Google. So it's with a company called Holman Automotive, which recently It was originally Cooney Automotive, which bought out Pullman Automotive. So essentially, what they are is they buy dealerships, right? But I was responsible for full cycle for 6 dealerships. So I had 3 in San Diego, 2 in Sacramento, and 1 in Palo Alto. So essentially, 2 years ago is where my life started to kind of like, I started to actually live life. Because then I was traveling, I was meeting different people, and I was just like experiencing what I should
That's
be
when I started seeing your IG. I'm like, what's Felipe up to? Like, why is he over here traveling? You got a business card, and you got these dealerships. Okay, now it makes sense.
It was awesome because I love cars, and so my office was in the Porsche dealership, and so I was responsible for Porsche and Audi and the Range Rover, all 3 of them on Miramar Road, right? And then and that's when I first experienced the Bay. I had the Audi in Palo Alto, and then I was going to Sacramento. I was just traveling. I had a black card with a corporate card. I was eating good, like I was flying, like I was renting cars, staying in nice hotels, and just enjoying life. And I was able to do my job at the best I could. And that's when I kind of learned about leadership, because that manager that I had was very hands-off and kind of trusted me based off like, hey, what can you do? What are your skill sets?
Right.
What can you bring to the team, and allow me to showcase that, and then from there kind of tune me into, how can you also help other people? And so that's where everything just started to click. So.
Full cycle. Yeah, that's kind of weird though, like, cause we didn't, after we graduated, like me and yours, we weren't that in touch, just like, obviously everyone's doing their own thing, but then I saw you're at dealership, and I feel like it was like, the next month you're at Google, I'm like, whoa, what the fuck, how did this happen? It happened really quick.
Exactly, I was only there at the dealership for about six months.
Yeah, see, so it was like a 2, and like, I'm like, this guy's balling out, like, Porsche dealership, like, you get quick snaps and everything, and then I'm like, Google, okay, so like, what happened here, what did I miss, like.
So, it's funny because I landed that gig through my best friend, shout out Kenny Hill. He was like, yo, this company this company that recruits for Google hit me up. And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Good for you.
But he essentially was like, yeah, man, like, I just got this new job, like, and, his wife right now, they're like, we don't want to move, but I'm going to pass them your information. I was like, okay, sure. The lady hits me up, and I'm like, this is fake. Like, it does not sound real. I'm trying to look up, are they a third party? Like, what is it?
Because you've been in that background, so you're like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like, yo, are you trying to make commission off me? Like, so every time someone hits me up, like on LinkedIn, and people send me emails, and I'm like, oh, I wonder how much commission you're gonna make. Like, it's the first thing I think of. It's so bad. I'm like, you're not gonna play me. I'm not a contract to hire.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, essentially.
Direct to hire.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Give me that DP. She essentially reached out, and it ended up being true. About a 3-month process. I had about 6 interviews. Yeah, I mean, the life of Google, and now I'm here. The funny thing is I did not prep for it at all.
No, just wing.
I mean, not even winging it, but I feel like, and it goes back to like what my dad had taught me, like, I don't know who you are. That whatever company that wants me is gonna want me for me.
Yeah.
So the way I think, the way I interview should be authentic and genuine. And if you talk to a lot of people, not to toot my own horn, but a lot of people say, hey, you're very genuine, you're very authentic, like you always want to help people. And that's how I want to come across in interviews. And so essentially it played in my favor. And
Played to your
6 interviews. They were long too.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Did you have a whole day interview?
You did some research, huh?
No, because Jen and her friend, like, been for big companies, like, I don't want to name them out, but like, they've told me, like, it's like a phone interview first, and then they'll go in there for half a day, and then a full day, and then you'll get,
that's exactly how it is.
Enchilada.
Yeah.
You basically work for them for like a whole week before you get hired.
Yeah, it's a long process, especially for the big tech companies, and it's for good reason, right? They have a lot of competition. They want to, get the best of the best.
It's interesting that they would get a recruit though. Maybe just they're hiring just that.
Yeah.
That they need a recruit to outsource it.
Yeah, I mean that's also how they make their money, I guess. Like, I don't necessarily know why Google does that, or Facebook, or big companies, except for trying to hire as many people as they can faster.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's only so many applications or people that are recruiters here at Google can reach, right?
True.
If you have other people outside of the org doing more research for you, you're just going to expand. And that's hence why they have so many, locations and companies in the Philippines, in Mexico, in China and things like that. So it's a smart move on their part.
When you got that job at Google, who was the first person you told?
Man, I told my parents. I texted them in a group chat, and my mom was like, "Cool."
It's like, what is it? What do you think? Like,
cool.
Cool, you're leaving. Yeah.
And all she said was cool.
Wow.
Yeah, 3 O's too. I screenshotted it. Yeah.
Hey, Mom, thanks.
I know. I found out because originally I thought that I did not get the job because I didn't hear back from anybody in 2 weeks. And I was like, all right, whatever. But I literally called my best friend. Left me on the red. I literally called Kenny. He was like, yo, I don't think I got the job, but it's all good because I love this job. And literally the next day, I get a call, and she's like, hey, you got the job, and I'm like, what? I need proof. We're on the phone. Yeah, I was on the phone. She sends me the email, and I was like, hey, can I call you back? And then I started crying. I was like, Dennis, it's huge. So I was in the office, and people were like, why are you crying? I'm like, pull the blinds down, let me have my moment, So
I'm out.
Yeah, exactly.
That must have been hard though, because a lot of times when somebody leaves a company and goes to another one, they're wanting to leave, but it looked like you actually liked the job you were in.
Yeah.
So how hard was it leaving somewhere where you're comfortable, you're established yourself, you're 6 months in, you're like, I see the growth, but I see more potential over here.
Yeah, it was so.
So is the grass really greener on this side?
Yeah. It depends who you're talking to, right? But I knew that so obviously everyone makes New Year resolutions, right?
Right.
But I made it a goal to work at Google the following year.
Yep.
And so when my best friend had told me, that's when I was like, oh, cool. I'm supposed to, I want that,
Oh, so that was why I heard so much.
Yeah.
I wrote that down. That was my.
Exactly.
Okay. Did you write it down or you just told yourself?
No, I wrote it down.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm a big component of that. Just writing shit down. I write it on my journal and it happens.
Yeah, exactly. I write things like my notepad, obviously, on my phone and things like that. But yeah, so when that happened, I was like, it was just a blessing. Yeah, it was. But back to what you're saying. Yeah, I had literally 1 week to decide, but 1 week to get there. So I packed up all my shit. I threw it in my car, and I said, all right, Mom, Dad, I love you. I'm out.
I'll be back.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
And the reason being is because think about it like this: how many people have the opportunity to work at Google?
It's a percentage. It's a very low percentage,
right? And especially in a field where it's essentially never going away, right?
Yeah.
Recruiting's never going away. They can try to do these AI, calls and messages, but at the same time they can't replicate a relationship, and a computer can't help with the process of negotiating or doing things like that, right? And just the opportunity to have Google on your resume, you can essentially do anything. And that goes for Facebook or Lyft or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And so I just thought about the long-term goal, right? Yeah, that was my short-term goal for that year or the following year, but at the same time, in long-term, I can essentially do anything. It was a very smart investment on my part. A lot of sacrifice because I just got a new lease there and I had to pay that mug out. Still hurting from that, but yeah, I made the move, packed up all my stuff. So.
Congrats on that. What did you write in for New Year's this year? What was your goal?
I didn't write anything.
Did you write anything?
I didn't write anything.
No.
I think the main thing for me was just to have fun, just be happy. Literally, have fun, be happy. That's all I really wanted to do. So I wanted to I want to travel more, obviously. Just things that they weren't. I guess you can call them goals, right? But it's just things I want to do. So I want to go to Thailand. I want to, go to Hawaii again. I want to do a lot of backpacking. I want to have a Muay Thai fight. Just a lot of activities.
So you got your career-wise. Are you now making that transition to obviously traveling more and fitness?
Yeah, trying to. I'm trying to. Obviously, you got to save up for that.
Actively.
And SF is expensive, man. It is very expensive.
For us San Diegans, just tell us roughly your rent. You don't have to tell us the exact number, but just so you bless us a little bit so we can humble.
Oh, for a rent or? All right. So I had a 1-bedroom, 1 bath with a washer and dryer, and it was in the hood of San Jose, and you're roughly looking a month about $2,500.
Boom. There you go. And we're over here complaining.
Yeah. So, and
And
then you still gotta buy groceries, you still gotta pay your water bill and things like that.
Yeah.
So.
And how far is the commute?
Oh my god, man. So San Jose is actually not that far from where Google is, but to get there is like an hour and a half, and you have people from different foreign countries. I love everybody. We all need to learn how to drive, man. God, and it's 3-way highway. It makes no sense. No sense. Silicon Valley's supposed to be so smart. You guys need to get this road shit together, right?
Well, they expect you guys to just commute there. It's like flying over something like that.
But Google has buses, but you want to take a bus, sit on a bus for 2 hours while working. That's cool. That's just me. I'd rather be in control and drive somewhere. Like if I want to leave early, I can leave early, right? So the bus thing wasn't for me.
You tried it?
Huh?
Did you try it?
I tried it once. I said, hell no. Hell no. Never again. I can't do this. So.
Last time you came down, you told me that possibly you're moving to Austin. Is that still in the...
Yes. So there's a couple of things that are stirring up right now that I can't talk about.
Okay.
But Austin is in the picture, but a couple other cities are in the picture too as well.
So that would basically open up your travels too. So your traveling plans would happen.
Yeah.
For that opportunity.
I realistically, like in my heart, I want to be closer to my family. I want to watch my brother, who's Aaron, who is about to enter high school. So I want to watch him play sports. I know when my sister played sports, I was in college and I wasn't able to watch her. But my other little brother, Ricky, who's taller than me, big as fuck. I got to see him play football, and I loved it. And so I want to be able to watch my little brother play basketball.
Because you were doing your side gig while he was in high school too, right?
Yeah.
You were coaching him.
Exactly. I was coaching through Gross 1-2, so I was able to go to all his games and just see how much of a beast he became and how much I missed. I'm like, oh man, you became this guy? Like, this is dope, you know? Yeah. So people used to call him Little Ipe. So everyone who like very close to me, my nickname is Ipe, like Felipe Ipe. So they used to call him. He used to go to all the practices and like, oh, there's Lil Ipe, and then now he's like trucking fools like 225. And now it's Aaron's turn, so I want to make sure I'm there for that process.
He's gonna try to make some moves, trying to get a little closer.
Yeah, at least where I can see, 3-4 games a year to kind of get a taste. Yeah. So, but yeah, it is in the picture. And I'm excited for it. I'm excited for the moves that are coming. I'll tell you.
You sounded excited last time we talked. Last time you came. Like, this is not the first time I've seen Felipe. Like, actually, me and Felipe actually made a bond more that he started coming down in town. Like every time he hits me up, hey, I'm in town. Okay, we'll kick it for a day or two, or just like a quick session and catch stones. Last time we weren't able to podcast just because you came for literally 2 days.
Yeah,
like
literally
in and out. Boom.
Yeah.
You brought your dog last time, but you don't have him today.
I know. I miss him. I love him.
So the Muay Thai. How'd you get involved in it? Like, how'd you go from football?
Man,
Cameron over people, so I want to hear.
So it's funny because when I was at Aerotech, one of my coworkers said, "Hey, try out this gym because I love just." Let's be honest. Anyone who knows me, I fought a lot in college. Like it is what it is. In Idaho, we would just get drunk and fight. And so
you have a stiff arm and you would start to fight. And you would come off the sideline, you stiff arm, and they hit you too hard. You're like, what? You just bounce back up.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, that was the big era with like Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, and the small guys were dominating, and so that kind of just like I really love boxing or shadow boxing and doing those things. But when I was at Aerotech, my coworker was like, "Hey, come try this, dude. Like we always talk about fighting. I think you'd be good at it." So I get there, and it was the worst experience of my life. The worst experience of my life. Oh man, I got my ass beat so bad. The instructor literally wailed on me with kicks. No shin guards, nothing but boom to my legs, and
your homeboy set you up, or like?
That's what I thought too. But yeah, I remember that it was so bad I couldn't walk for like 3 days. Like I don't know what his problem was, but he literally was wailing on me.
Example of you.
Yeah, he sure did. He sure did, and I was like, I'm never doing this shit again. And then I got back into it. I know I got startled. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, dude.
Right? I got back into it, and I decided to try it in 2017, 2 years ago, a year ago, and I only did it for a couple months, still MMA, which by the way is one of the best gyms literally in America, so that's a big fact, like that's a plug. So shout out Coach Carl. I was only there for a couple months, but it was a really
You
good.
come back home and you run straight to it.
Yeah.
Like you get your calibrator and then you go there.
Yep, that's exactly where I go. So Coach Carl, Coach Sean, who's one of my favorite coaches, like I still talk to him today. I actually just trained with Nesto and Coach Sean, and they're like the first people I go to every single time I come back. But yeah, just like the environment, I got the true feel of what it feels like to train like that. And then coming from like a sports background, you never want to stop competing.
No.
Like, you know, you play video games and you get mad for a reason, right? Because you're competitive. Or like you play pickup games and something happens because you
gotta win.
So
run it back.
And the reason why I like martial arts or just Muay Thai in general or boxing, any type of fighting, is because it's only you. You're the only person to blame. And you can dictate how much you want to condition, how much you want to push yourself, and preparing for a fight or training for any type of fight is like that's on a different level. Like there's no conditioning you can do that's essentially going to help you except for doing that. And so there's like so many different nuances to it and different techniques and different little things that everyone in the world knows, and like everyone's different, and it's just so cool to pick everyone's mind. And you come into the gym, you would never think someone can fight, right? And they're like, God, he's a beast or she's a beast.
Right.
Like they can for sure beat the shit out of me, you know. So, but yeah, I just fell in love with it. I did it for a couple months.
It's like any one of those sports is like you can't judge them by how they look. It's more like the conditioning once you see them in the ring.
Yeah.
Because they can be scrawny, but they can be quick as hell.
Yeah. And so that also like made me realize too, like was part of my growing up and maturing, was never really judge a book by its cover. Like you don't really know who's who, right? And so every time I'd go to the gym and I would see someone different, I'm like, dang, that's impressive. What she or he is doing, that's impressive. Like, I would never have thought. So, but yeah, I did it for a little bit and then I moved to SF. And so I didn't do
Found
it.
a gym over there yet?
I did. Yeah, Koa Fitness. I met a lot of good people there. Just started doing it. So in total, I just picked it up really, really fast because I became very addicted to it. You know, I wanted to be very good, very fast.
You didn't want to get your ass beat.
Yeah, yeah, and I've been doing that now, so consistently for about a total like 6-7 months.
Nice.
But I picked it up a lot faster than what anyone should at 6 months. So, but yeah, I also ask a lot of questions. You know, I videotape myself a lot. Like I hide my cell phone in a little corner to videotape, not to post on Instagram, but because I want to see, are my legs am I not turning over my kicks? Like, is my right hand down? Why do I keep getting hit with this cross every time I throw a kick? Like, what's going on? You know? And then I was like, scroll through. I'm like, hey, dude, how do I do this? Like, why does this keep happening? You know, it's just like football, and you film study and you find out different things. So, yeah, it's competitive. You should try it.
Yeah. I got too much, man. Like I'm already like I got so much in my head. Like I'm trying to qualify for Boston. I'm trying to be elite in Spartan races. Like
I see that all the time.
Oh, it just and it counts the battle against myself. So I'm trying to 1% better. Like you said, it's that competitive age that keeps going and keeps running through your head. Like I can do more. I got more, and then Jen will tell me, or my friends will tell me, hey, you're doing a great job. No, I got more.
Yeah.
Like it's just fucking. I think we're just sick that way. Like,
yeah.
It sucks, but like we just keep striving for more, and like I'll see you post something, hey, good job, and you're like, no, I still got more shit to do. Like, so
like no, it's okay, that's alright.
Yeah, it's good, but I think at the end, like we gotta be able, and that's what I said like a couple podcasts back. I said like you gotta be able to look back and be like, hey, I actually achieved something. So like this is actually good for you too, because you'll listen to this and you're like, shit, I've been a long way in like 10 years since high school. Like, I started shit. I was high, I went back low, I went back high, and now I'm here. Like, so you're still finding yourself, and you're at least growing, and you're maturing as a person.
Exactly, and that goes back to like you asked me like, hey, did you write goals? And that was specifically one of the reasons why, because I wanted to like take a step back and just self-assess and be like, okay, look what has transpired.
Mm-hmm.
So just be happy because you made it this far. You've done this and this. You should be happy for it. And so that was one of the reasons why I was like, just enjoy life, have fun. Obviously, you're gonna keep working hard and things like that, but
you know where you can push at. You know where your potential is, but you're like, hey, let me take a seat back, watch it play out.
Yeah.
That's cool. Respect that. So. No, I won't get into it. For those that don't know you personally, but basically just know you from high school as just the jock and the guy that just came out and balled out, like what's the message you can give them to now? Like if they perceive you as a certain person, like what would you tell those people? You know what I mean, right? Like the people that just saw you as just Felipe, like 3-star Letterman, like no big deal.
I don't know because
I wouldn't say haters, but I would just say people that never got to know who the real Felipe was.
Yeah, I was very reserved, very, very reserved, and I still am too, an extent, right? But I'd be more open, I guess, to meeting different people. Like I think my senior year is when I started to really blossom and talk to different groups. But I think, I would just be open, you know? I would communicate more to other people and not have quick conversations. I think for me in my mind, the biggest thing was like I always thought someone had a vendetta against me. And that goes back to the chip on the shoulder. Like, why are you talking to me?
What do you want out of me?
Yeah, what do you want out of me?
Who sent you here?
Why do you want to be my friend? Why do you want to help me out? You know? So it's a bad thing, it's a curse, but it's also a blessing at the same time. So
yeah, keep your guard up. But I think that's one thing that everybody could take a lesson from. Like, talk to people more, communicate more, and not just be in your own corner. Because you never know. Like, it could be a homie that helps you go to Google.
Yeah, exactly.
But
exactly.
You got anything else?
Man, no, I'm good.
Good?
I am good.
Content? Happy?
I'm happy.
Where can they find you?
You could find me, what's my Instagram? Felipe Valdez 91, FELIPE VALDEZ 91. I only have an Instagram.
Look at his stories. He'll show his dog, his training, his Google days.
I heard I post too much about my dog.
They say the same thing about my co-host Joey, that he talks too much about his dog on the podcast too.
Really?
I don't mind, like, you know, like it's basically you're a kid, like, you know.
Yeah.
You're with it so much, and the love that the dog will always have for you. You know, you come home after a rough day, and that dog's right there.
Exactly. Like, this is my first time away from Prince.
It's killing you.
It's killing me inside.
You can't.
I keep texting my roommate.
Are you sure he's okay? Send me a picture.
I said, please make sure that my son is back in one piece.
I want him taking me up at the airport, not you.
Right. Exactly. And he's all I got out there, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know, he's literally everything. He goes everywhere.
Did you get him
on
on
the
the
dogs, by the way?
Oh yeah.
Google.
So you take him every day?
He's such an asshole. He's a puppy. So like he constantly wants to play outside. I'm like, yo, your dad has to make money, man.
Yeah, make some money.
Yeah.
It's okay. Just leave me out here.
Right? But he's gonna be eating dollar fries from McDonald's again, Prince.
I like that life.
He does. He likes tequila too.
Did you get him when you moved up there, or?
I did. Yeah. I got him when I moved up there, and I was actually looking through baby pictures yesterday. I was like, dang, he's only a year and a month old, but he grew pretty fast.
Did you get him out of comfort, or like you were already like, I needed a dog, and this was another?
Yeah, I was with my ex at the time, and you know, she wanted a dog, I wanted a dog, and she had like sent me a picture of what dog she wanted, and I didn't want that type of dog. I wanted like more of a German Australian Shepherd. He is a blue heeler mixed with border collie, and so I picked him up that day. And when she sent the picture, I was like, well, let me see if it's real, like, you know, because you always know if there's a connection with the dog. And so as soon as I opened the door, he was asleep. He just ran straight towards me, and the lady's like, he hasn't done that all day. And I was like, I'm taking him. Yeah.
And he hangs with you too when you're running, right?
Yeah, we've gone on, I think the most we've ran is like 7 miles, but he slows me down sometimes. Like, come on, Prince, you're a dog. You gotta push through, you know.
So go home, eat more tequila.
Right. Trying to cut back.
Well, appreciate you appreciate you being on, sharing your story.
Absolutely.
The ups, the downs, and just so everybody can relate that it's not about the money, it's about finding who you are internally and being happy.
Yeah, they say money isn't everything, but it is a majority of things. But if you don't have the love inside, you know what I mean? That's money ain't shit.
Nope.
She's gonna bring you down.
Money ain't shit, that's the title.
Yeah. Money ain't shit.
If you like it, please share it on Instagram. Tag us at Nothing Lose Podcast. Tag Felipe. Tag me at Tony. Tag Joey. And have a great day. Peace.